Hello and welcome to Poseidwn Tech. In the previous episode, I reviewed this KNX RF Remote Control from Elsner, and I used it to control, among others, my Christmas tree lights. But my Christmas tree lights are connected into this Belkin WiFi plug. So, I used Home Assistant to integrate my KNX RF Remote Control with my Belkin Wi-Fi plug. Let me show you how. The goal for today's episode is to control my Christmas tree lights by tapping the on-off buttons of my KNX RF Remote Control. KNX devices are communicating using group addresses. When, for example, I tap on the on button of the KNX RF Remote Control, a telegram is created containing the group address and the value 1 switch on, and this telegram is sent to bus. RF line coupler receives the telegram and checks if the received group address is inside its filter table. Since the group address is listed in the filter table, it is routed to KNX IP router, and it will reach Home Assistant over IP. In Home Assistant, we will create the necessary automations in order not only to switch on the Belkin Wi-Fi plug, but also to respond to KNX bus with a status group address telegram. So, we will be able to see on the remote control the status of the Belkin Wi-Fi plug. I will start by adding two group addresses in ETS, Christmas tree and Christmas tree feedback. I will link the switching group object of the remote control with the Christmas tree group address. And the feedback switching group object with the Christmas tree feedback group address. So far so good, but the RF line coupler isolates the primary side, which is the main line, from the secondary side, which is the RF line. In this way, each line works independently, and the only group telegrams that can be routed on the main line are the ones that are listed in the filter table. Right-click on the RF line coupler and select Preview Filter Table. As you can see, the filter table doesn't contain the group addresses 800 and 801 of my Christmas lights. The group addresses that are listed here are created automatically by ETS when I linked the group objects from the KNX Twisted Pair devices on main line with the group objects from the KNX RF Remote Control on RF line through the relevant group addresses. So, these group addresses can be routed from the RF line to main line and vice versa. Since my Christmas tree group addresses don't exist in the filter table, they cannot be routed from the RF line to main line, and of course there is no way to reach Home Assistant. The problem in my case is that Belkin Wi-Fi plug is not a KNX device, and it hasn't group objects to link them with the group objects of my remote control in order to add the relevant group addresses in the filter table of the RF line coupler. So, I will have to add these group addresses manually. From Group Addresses Workplace, I will select each group address, and from the Settings tab under Properties sidebar, I will enable the Pass-Through Line Coupler setting. Now, if we open the filter table, you can see that my Christmas tree group addresses have been successfully added. Don't forget that we have to make a partial download in order to update the filter table in the RF line coupler. For more details about my KNX topology and the KNX RF Remote Control from Elsner, please watch my step-by-step tutorial. And if you are new to Home Assistant, then please watch first my step-by-step tutorial on how to add KNX devices in Home Assistant. You will find all links in the description. Let's open now Home Assistant. The current version of Home Assistant is 2021-12.2. First, I will add my Christmas tree group addresses. Click on File Editor. This is my KNX YAML file. Here I will add the new group addresses. I will name this light KNX Christmas Lights. The name will be also KNX Christmas Lights. The switching group address is 800 and the status group address is 801. Click on Save. When we are making changes to YAML files, we have to go to Configuration, click on Settings, Server Controls, and check Configuration. Our configuration is valid, so now we have to restart Home Assistant server. Home Assistant server is back, so it's time to add my Belkin Wi-Fi plugs. Click on Configuration and Devices and Services. Click on Add Integration and search for Wemo. Click on Belkin Wemo and submit to add it in Home Assistant. These are my two Belkin Wi-Fi plugs. I will assign both Wi-Fi plugs in my Christmas area. Click on Finish. The next step is to add the new devices in my dashboard, so click on Overview. Click on the three dots button on the right upper corner and Edit Dashboard. I will add a new Entities card, so click on Add Card button. Select Entities card. I will name the card Christmas. I will enable also color icons based on state. I will add now my Wi-Fi plugs. And my KNX Christmas lights. Allow me to change the icons of the lights. We are ready, so click on Save. This is the Christmas card where I can control my Belkin Wi-Fi plugs. As you remember, the goal is to use the KNX Christmas Lights button as a trigger in order to control the Christmas tree lights. So it's time to create automations. Click on Configuration and Automations and Scenes. Click on Add Automation. Start with an empty automation. I will name this automation Automation KNX to Wemo. The trigger will be the KNX Christmas lights, so trigger type will be state. The entity will be the KNX Christmas lights. The action will be to turn on Christmas tree lights when the KNX Christmas lights are on, and turn off Christmas tree lights when the KNX Christmas lights are off. So the action type will be Choose. The condition for option 1 will be when the KNX Christmas lights are off. So condition type will be State. The entity will be the KNX Christmas lights. And the state Off. The action will be to turn off the Christmas tree lights, so action type Device. The device will be the Christmas tree lights. And the action Turn off. Likewise, I will add one more option for turning the lights on. The automation is ready, so click on Save. Before testing the automation, we have to go to Configuration, Settings, Server Controls, and click on Automations to reload configuration. let's test the automation from the dashboard. As you can see now, when I turn off the KNX Christmas lights, the Christmas tree lights are switched off. And when I turn on the KNX Christmas lights, the Christmas tree lights are switched on. The only problem is that when I turn off the Christmas tree lights, the KNX Christmas lights don't follow. So, we need one more automation that this time will be triggered by Wemo Christmas tree lights. Click on Configuration, Automation and Scenes. Add a new automation. Start with an empty automation. I will name this automation Automation Wemo to KNX. I will add two triggers for the Christmas tree lights, one when they are switched on and one when they are switched off. The action will be to turn off KNX Christmas lights when the Christmas tree lights are off, and to send to KNX bus a status group address telegram with value 0. So action type will be choose. The first condition will be when the Christmas tree lights are off. The first action will be to turn off the KNX Christmas lights. So, I will select action type, call service. Service will be light turn off. From targets, I will click on choose entity, and I will select KNX Christmas lights. The second action will be to send to KNX bus a status group address telegram with value 0. The action type will be call service. The service will be send to KNX bus. I will type my Christmas tree feedback group address 801 with value 0. Likewise, I will add one more option for turning the lights on. The automation is ready, so click on Save. Don't forget to go to Configuration, Settings, Server Controls, and click on Automations to reload configuration. Time for testing. As you can see, everything is working as expected. I can control the Belkin Wi-Fi plugs from my KNX Remote Control, and I can even receive the status. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next episode.